Beatrice appeared unusually depressed despite the festive season. Even after being encouraged to cheer up and offered companionship to go stargazing, she insisted on being alone. Later, she abruptly told the queen they shouldn't see each other for a while and ran off without explanation. A Mondstadt soldier also demonstrated concerning symptoms, reporting depression, inability to concentrate, and waking up in the middle of the night outside his home. Despite medical examinations confirming perfect health, he worried he had seen something he shouldn't have. Donna, previously infatuated with the Luke, had mysteriously shifted her affections to Gaia, commander of the cavalry. She described it as a sudden change of heart, despite Gaia himself not having changed at all. Gaia arrived looking for us, requesting our presence at Knight's headquarters. At Knight's headquarters, 4 squadron captains greeted us. Captain Jin explained there was trouble at Mondstadt Castle requiring intervention. We learned that, in serious cases, both the Sephiroth Knights and Sephiroth Church work together to maintain justice through joint trials. Jean led us to a formal court proceeding where she would preside over the trial in place of the absent Falca. Daria, secretary of the Sephiroth Association, would represent the church side. The case was to be kept confidential until judgment was rendered. Justice Minister Helter revealed shocking allegations that Albedo, leader of the Knights investigation team, had murdered someone. According to witness testimony from Beatrice, she saw Albedo dragging and burying a corpse 11 nights prior while returning home late. Albedo claimed he was working in his office that night, which was supported by a recently submitted environmental report. But no one could verify his presence. Investigators found no corpse at the alleged burial site, only a piece of cloth and men's shoes nearby. Albedo defended himself by questioning the motive and the missing body, emphasizing his duty to protect Mondstadt residents. The prosecutor countered that not all crimes are planned and that unexpected conflicts happen. The court then prepared to address a second incident allegedly involving Albedo. A court case is underway regarding Albedo, who stands accused of murder. 2 witnesses testify to seeing Albedo processing a corpse 7 days ago between Dragonspine and Akatsuki Binary. The first witness observed the defendant disposing of an adult male body at approximately 3:40 a.m. The witness details that despite the darkness, rock element power illuminated the area, revealing the victim was tall and thin. After burying the body under a cliff, Albedo manipulated the soil to erase all evidence of his actions. The prosecutor points out that the victim is supposedly Dirk's husband, who is well known in Mondstadt. Following Albedo's departure from the scene, a witness discovered human remains, specifically teeth and a large skull, suggesting the body had already decomposed. The prosecution theorizes that Albedo used his alchemical expertise to accelerate decomposition, explaining why only bones remained. The golden elemental light observed was attributed to this alchemical process. Scrooge, Albedo's student, attempts to provide an alibi, claiming they were together in the library from the afternoon until the next day discussing an assignment. However, upon questioning, Scrooge admits falling asleep past midnight, invalidating the alibi. Albedo questions the prosecution's case, asking about motive and method. The prosecution produces a written record allegedly from Albedo discussing human research, the connection between birth and death, and mentioning corruption and purification processes. The letter describes experiments conducted in areas matching the crime scene, discussing creation and breaking shackles to enter a new realm of life. The investigation confirms the letter's authenticity, providing compelling evidence against Albedo. With substantial evidence presented, The court finds Albedo guilty of murder and sentences him to death, despite some unresolved details about the victim's identity and alchemical methods used. After the trial, Rosalia approaches with a message directing them to the Cliff of the Stargathering, where someone is waiting. Upon arrival, they meet Daria, an astronomer of the wind god Barbatos, who reveals knowledge about the situation. Barbatos, revealed to be Wendy, has known about Albedo since his arrival in Mondstadt. The conversation reveals Albedo is a homunculus, a perfect creation sent by Raindot and Alice, which explains why suspicion fell on him during these strange events. Daria notes the unsettled atmosphere in Mondstadt, with residents behaving unusually. She speaks cryptically about fate, disaster, and the need for a hero of salvation, implying grave consequences if Albedo is truly exposed. Daria provides a communication device from Dodotsuwaki to maintain contact, promising the wind will be with them. The group resolves to help Albedo, believing he wouldn't use humans as alchemical material, despite the evidence against him. Despite unexpected trial results, Falca mentioned that Albedo is special, suggesting there might be unknown aspects to consider. The group decides to speak with Albedo directly to understand the situation better. The Traveler and Paimon arrive at an opportune moment as Gaia was searching for them. Following the trial, Jin allowed for statements within a certain time frame. As Albedo's lawyer, Gaia intends to convince him of the verdict's significance and requests that the Traveler conduct an investigation. The group is granted permission to move freely while investigating. Albedo is described as a trusted comrade who fought alongside them. Despite the Windblume Festival, the team is determined not to abandon him, believing they will uncover the truth. Even if the trial accusations are valid, their judgment remains crucial. A second trial is anticipated. In preparation, Albedo's office on the Knight's headquarters' second floor is made available for investigation. Gaia and Captain Jin entrust the Traveler with this task, emphasizing its importance for gathering evidence. The investigation of Albedo's office reveals complex alchemical books with significant historical value. A concerning discovery includes research on human body chains, raising questions about Albedo's true studies. A hidden compartment in the desk contains additional suspicious materials. Upon completing the investigation, several pieces of evidence deepen suspicions against Albedo. It's revealed that Albedo was created by Raindot, a figure notorious for questionable alchemical ethics. This connection, if made public, would label Albedo as Raindot's successor, potentially causing significant distress. Despite mounting evidence, the Traveler and Paimon maintain their belief in Albedo as their friend. They acknowledge he might have undisclosed reasons for his actions, but commit to conducting an objective investigation based on facts rather than personal feelings. Miles unexpectedly appears, claiming to have heard noises from the office. While he insists he couldn't clearly hear their conversation, the group remains cautious and instructs him to forget anything he might have overheard. The investigation team decides to explore a location marked on a map found in Albedo's office. At the marked location, they discover a suspicious hole that differs from previously investigated sites. They note that if Albedo were responsible, he could have easily concealed this evidence, raising questions about the true perpetrator behind the disappearing corpses. Reporting back to Jin, the team admits finding evidence but nothing that assists Albedo's defense. Jin informs them that a second investigation will proceed in 2 days to address remaining mysteries, including identifying the deceased and explaining the disappearance of bodies. Teeth and bones from burial sites are being examined. The second investigation begins with the same participants: Judge Daria, Prosecutor Helter, Defense Attorney Gaia, and Defendant Albedo. The investigation confirms that remains belong to Hansman, a 46-year-old single man without relatives, matching descriptions from the previous trial. his identity was confirmed through medical records showing a previous thigh bone injury. A new witness, Donna, testifies that while camping, she observed someone disposing of a body. She initially avoided coming forward out of fear but was finally persuaded by Helter to testify. The court commends her courage in presenting this crucial testimony. The investigation team presents additional evidence from Albedo's office, including a map with marked locations corresponding to crime scenes mentioned in Albedo's letter. When confronted, Albedo acknowledges the map belongs to him but maintains his innocence. Despite compelling evidence, he insists he never killed anyone and is waiting for the right opportunity to prove his innocence. The importance of waiting as a means to uncover truth is emphasized. In order to reveal what has been concealed, it's necessary to clear away layers of deception, like removing piled snow to expose what lies beneath. This patient approach seems crucial to solving the mystery at hand. A traveler has discovered a memo containing a map with 3 marked locations. The third mark has already been investigated. Based on descriptions, it appears there was once a corpse at this location. This finding connects to a larger investigation involving suspicious burial sites. The second mark is located between Dragonspine and Akatsuki Winery. DeLuke witnessed Albedo burying what appeared to be an adult male corpse. His testimony aligns with Beatrice's observations. Human bones and teeth were later discovered at this site, with multiple witnesses confirming the findings. The first mark is near Mondstadt. Beatrice observed Albedo using alchemy to dig a hole and bury a body. Only shoes and cloth fragments remained as evidence. The third location in Dragonspine contained a large hole with scratching marks around it, though the hole was empty when investigated. All 3 locations were marked on Albedo's hidden map and share similarities as probable body disposal sites. However, only the third hole showed scratching marks, suggesting it predated the other 2. The harsh conditions of Dragonspine, with its year-round snow and extreme cold, may have preserved evidence differently. Albedo is identified as an alchemist and captain of the Mondstadt Knights investigation team. More significantly, he's revealed to be a homunculus, an artificial life created through alchemy following the death of one of the 5 great sinners. Despite his unusual origins, Albedo has shown no hostility toward people. A critical detail emerges. Someone who looked exactly like Albedo was previously spotted in the Snowy Mountain area. This observation, witnessed by multiple people, including the Traveler and Paimon, introduces the possibility of an imposter or duplicate. Questions arise about inconsistencies between the burial sites. While 2 locations showed evidence of alchemy being used to restore the ground, the third location in the mountains appeared different, with soil still scattered around, as if something had been dug up rather than buried. Albedo admits to marking the map and hiding things in 3 places, confirming 3 corpses were involved. However, he reveals a startling detail. The person he killed and buried in the mountain had his exact appearance, including identical clothing. This suggests the existence of a duplicate. The situation takes a dramatic turn when another individual with Albedo's exact appearance enters the scene, claiming to be Helter, the head of the Sephiroth Knights. Both accuse the other of being an imposter. The true Albedo explains that the duplicates originated from experiments related to the demon dragon Durin. To determine the true identity, a test involving a scar becomes crucial. The real Helter should know about a specific scar, but the accused imposter shows signs of confusion. Albedo reveals these duplicates possess the ability to change their life force and physical form, suggesting a dangerous, shape-shifting ability. A chaotic pursuit unfolds as someone urges others to run away, while another voice commands not to let them escape. The situation intensifies as friends are warned not to interfere with the chase. Mysterious figures appear from outside, prompting questions about their identities. Someone demonstrates impressive agility by jumping over an obstacle instantly. Military-style operations begin as units are directed to start their mission. The third platoon is specifically assigned to deal with something referred to as the fake. Someone begins explaining recent events, emphasizing two critical points. They haven't killed anyone, nor used corpses in alchemy experiments. And most knights at the trial were aware of this operation beforehand. Monsters have unexpectedly appeared in the city, described as creatures from a snowy mountain. Their increased aggression is linked to corruption's power, with predictions they would eventually attack Mondstadt. Someone has developed a strategy for this inevitable battle and requests assistance from two individuals to support various units. Captain Jin receives reports that base headquarters are temporarily secure thanks to quick responses and sufficient personnel. Units are warned about mountain monsters potentially spying on nearby residents. Some people appear affected by a mysterious power that isn't monstrous in nature. Orders are given to monitor such individuals without causing harm. A mobile squadron forms with someone, Paimon, and Albedo to support different areas of Mondstadt. Albedo apologizes for the operation assistance, while someone else takes charge of operations, following the commander-in-chief's orders. The frontline responsibilities are delegated with confidence that the battle will be victorious. Battle begins with references to judging sinful demons. A traveler arrives at the right location and is instructed to draw their sword. Someone mentions no longer fearing demons. Meanwhile, residents are advised to remain indoors while someone identified as a young lady works to ensure their safety. Reports indicate Diluc and Gaia have successfully cleared demons that invaded the city. However, new demons appear, moving faster than anticipated, and even possessing cavalry. Combat ensues with ice-based attacks. The front gate becomes the next target as the group moves to deal with this rich man and the villains. The battle intensifies with various combat techniques including freezing attacks and flame abilities. Captain Gaia's voice announces reinforcements, encouraging fighters to persevere a little longer. Someone thanks the combatants for their efforts and tells them to leave the rest to the new arrivals. Discussions reveal that monsters from Dragonspine have been evolving rapidly, possibly due to sensing danger from a strategic plan. Someone named Durin is mentioned as absorbing the previous fake. Albedo apparently buried corpses of monsters that had disguised themselves as humans after swallowing victims. The monsters selectively targeted people without families to avoid detection. Albedo confesses to stopping the second one's breath and burying it in Yukiyama. However, monsters influenced by Durin's activation dug up this corpse and returned it to Durin's belly, allowing Durin to absorb the knowledge. People staying in Yukiyama may have been affected by Durin's power, explaining strange behaviors in town and recent attacks on knights. A battle is unfolding in Mondstadt as squadrons coordinate their defense positions. The power of Wind God Barbados enables communication between allies, allowing them to strategize effectively. Wendy appears, explaining she was attacked by monsters, but was saved by Albedo, the Travelers, and Paimon. The defenders express gratitude to Barbados as they prepare to face incoming threats across different areas. Diluc saves someone from danger on a bridge. Their conversation reveals Diluc had suspected something was wrong during the first trial, feeling uncomfortable with someone's behavior. They discuss nervousness and judgment while fighting off enemies. The battle continues as they exchange tactical observations about the state of different areas. Someone expresses gratitude toward Diluc for believing in their innocence during the trial. Arbor provides healing at Daysado, urging injured knights not to return to the front line alone. Rosalia offers to escort wounded knights back to their positions. Barbara recalls a previous conversation where her sister warned about upcoming battles related to Dragonspine based on Albedo's prediction. Despite her concern, her sister promised to protect herself, and Barbara continues her healing duties as the situation intensifies. Defense forces prepare for counterattack as enemies approach rapidly from the 11 o'clock direction, including 25 Hilchars, 2 Ends Hilchars, and several slimes. Amber and Mika provide reconnaissance information as knights coordinate their positions and combat strategies. Count Rabbit is deployed as part of the defense effort while treatment is provided to wounded allies. The conversation reveals details about an elaborate operation involving Helter. The plan was Gaia's suggestion, using Helter because they weren't too conspicuous, yet had sufficient reputation. Information was spread that Helter had an accident and went missing, setting a trap for the enemy. The fake Helter appeared days later, pretending to be injured. This deception had been ongoing for over a year. Albedo explains how they were trapped in the first trial, unable to defend themselves without revealing their identity. The operation actually included the travelers from the beginning, anticipating they would return during the Windblume Festival and investigate the trial out of a sense of justice. The fake Helter, known as Number 2, had seen the travelers in the snowy mountains, and their shocked reaction would provide an opportunity for counterattack. The speakers justify not sharing the operation details earlier, explaining it was necessary to protect Mondstadt as the strategy involved many lives. The Knights of Honor and Paimon are acknowledged as loyal allies to Mondstadt. The conversation is interrupted by a noise, prompting investigation. Someone expresses surprise about events occurring outside the courtroom, and Lady Daria appears with information that Rosalia has requested protection. Conversation reveals that Albedo is away seeking support, leaving two people alone together. One person reassures the other they will provide protection. They discuss how Rosalia remembers them because they're often seen with Albedo. The conversation shifts to revealing that people in high positions in Mond knew Albedo's true identity, who was supposedly already dead before a trial began. This information surprises one of them, but they agree it's not problematic to discuss since they both know the truth. A battle sequence occurs where participants work together to clear the battlefield. Someone expresses gratitude for help that allowed the battle to end earlier than expected. They reassure others that they can handle things while encouraging them to attend to other responsibilities. The scene repeats with similar dialogue of gratitude and well wishes for safe returns. Someone apologizes for startling another person by suddenly jumping up after pretending to be unconscious on the roadside. Albedo and travelers appear, finding people who need assistance. They offer help and direct people to a safe evacuation area, promising to return. A character named Iona pledges to protect Cat's Tail as a safe location. Concern arises about Cray, who has disappeared. Someone apologizes for not being vigilant enough with the quick-witted Cray. Albedo and travelers arrive unexpectedly. A warning interrupts their conversation as something dangerous approaches, requiring everyone to prepare for battle. Despite initial worry, Cray returns safely, demonstrating his resourcefulness with bombs. Cray is entrusted with protecting Ulua. Characters discuss Albedo's supposed camping trip, deciding it's better not to inform children about certain details. They coordinate responsibilities, with Knight Hebana potentially taking over a task. The scene transitions to the aftermath of battle, where everyone checks on each other's condition. The battle situation has calmed down with few casualties due to good preparation. A list of the injured has been compiled. Everyone reports their status, with Cray being praised for saving Ulua. Captain Jin acknowledges the successful defense operation and exchanges thanks with others. Various characters make plans for rest and refreshment, including an offer of tea and moon pie. Wendy discusses listening to the wind during their difficult assignment. She reveals insights about Durin, explaining how this entity absorbed others' emotions to understand the world despite being alone. Durin knew he wasn't his mother's only child or a perfect creation, which sparked raw emotions of competition and survival instinct that affected everyone involved. A confrontation with Fania reveals she's been influenced by Durin's power for over half a year. Despite her claims of successfully completing patrol duties, she had approached from an unexpected location, missing important communications. Someone promises to help remove the negative influence from Fania's body before taking her to headquarters. After Fania's situation is addressed, discussion turns to a personal plan involving a three-way meeting originally established by Falca years ago. This meeting connects three pillars: the alliance of Sephiroth Knights and Church, the Witch World, and the Wind God Barbatos. A promise was made that witches would return to help Mondstadt in times of greatest need. Using a Dodo transceiver, contact is established with Falca and later with Alice. There's confusion about a promised feast before the conversation shifts to the three-legged stairs. Albedo, captain of the Sephiroth Knights investigation team, requests an official meeting with the witches. When asked about his intentions, Albedo mentions wanting to do something unprecedented. Alice, intrigued, agrees to join them immediately. A conversation begins about a cute Doriko-only hat. Alice, representing the witches, agrees to listen to Albedo's wish and invites him to approach the table when ready. Alice mentions that a friend is waiting in her office and suggests that others go meet her. The atmosphere is polite yet mysterious, with Barbatos expressing subtle nervousness about Albedo's plans while maintaining confidence in his abilities. The group discovers Chibigurin hiding in Albedo's office. She reveals she secretly helped during a recent battle and has been hiding in Mondstadt to avoid frightening people. Chibigurin explains that she made a promise with Albedo to do something amazing together. She wants to be reborn as a human through alchemy, replacing Durin in the snowy mountains. Albedo believes by merging her pure soul from the story with the actual dragon, they can control its evil nature. Chibigurin acknowledges the difficulty of becoming human, but feels this is the path she has chosen. She explains that Albedo told her she's a homunculus who will soon be like him. They will be the only two beings created by alchemy living as humans, making them family who must trust each other. Though nervous about the transformation, she's also looking forward to it and appreciates meeting the others, which has helped calm her fears. The group gathers for a meeting where Albedo reveals his plan. He wants to kill the demon dragon Durin in Dragonspine and needs alchemical materials from the witches. He requests immortal demon beast flesh and ashes left by his mother, Raindot. Albedo explains that even though Durin was defeated, its heart still beats and could eventually revive, posing a danger to Mondstadt. His solution is to transform Durin into a more human-like being. Albedo details his alchemical plan to transform Durin using the pure soul from the Simranka fairy tale, the original Durin's heart, demon flesh, and Raindot's remains. This will create a balanced body where corruption and vitality generate a powerful negative reaction. Alice agrees to provide the materials if Albedo and Traveler can pass through trials in the Witch World, proving they're worthy of handling such valuable materials. Alice explains that Paimon cannot join the trials, which are specifically designed for two people. When ready, Albedo and Traveler must touch the chessboard on the table. They're suddenly shrunk down to chess piece size, with Alice challenging them to prove their power and achieve their goal like heroes in a fairy tale. A series of battles ensues against various magical opponents. The trials intensify with Alice getting cryptic clues about perspective, revealing truth. The weather changes dramatically as they face increasingly difficult challenges. Aunt Barbie joins in, complimenting Albedo's politeness compared to her own disciple. The battle sequence continues with powerful magical attacks and transformations, ending with the acknowledgement that the children are growing up fast. Barbie receives praise for their wonderful work and expresses interest in having their disciple learn from the others present. Despite attempts to convince Barbie to stay, they depart mysteriously as usual, likely going for a healthy walk. Two individuals are acknowledged for making it through safely and are told to take a break. They discuss plans to go to Dragonspine together with the goal of defeating Durin as soon as possible. The scene shifts to a cold location that hasn't been visited in some time. One person offers their hood as shelter from the cold, suggesting it should be soft enough. They recommend finding a heat source for additional warmth. Upon arriving at their destination, someone apologizes to Paimon and mentions something is still moving, advising caution while working. A conversation begins about demon dragon Durin, questioning whether it's a thief, human, animal, or monster to Albedo. Albedo explains that from an alchemical perspective, both he and Durin are artificial beings, though biologically different. He considers himself a special kind of human and believes each life form is unique, with himself being the rarest. His follower, Chibigurin, is attempting to take over demon dragon Durin and aspires to become human. The plan has broad significance connecting past and future. Albedo's personal motivation stems from a belief in taking on impossible life challenges and making the world better by creating more perfect life forms. The purpose of alchemy is to absorb and understand various knowledge, a path Albedo has followed for a long time. The process is completed as the power of the golden dragon seizes Durin's heart. Only the core part was recovered, which should finally allow Durin's body to die. The knights are monitoring those affected in the city, and creating a new Durin will remove the influence they received, completing the alchemist's work and solving several problems. The topic shifts to the Windblume Festival. Due to being busy helping people in the city, there's uncertainty about who will be the star of this year's festival, with plans to find out on the day of the event. Excitement builds for the Windblume Festival. Someone named Wendy is announced as this year's star for her ability to read battle flow and calm hearts. Wendy plans to express her feelings through a song at the bar. A ritual prayer of construction begins, calling upon land, water, fire, and wind. The ceremony involves passing through worlds and creating a spirit from wind and sacred blood. Following the ritual, the celebration ends, but the newly built body remains unstable and needs time.